Welcome back to Conversations with MissionX, and today I have Riam with me, and we're going to be talking about just music. And Riam's been always been a big music guy, so I wanted to have this conversation with him, especially related to how music connects to our faith. And so I wanted to start off with kind of like just a quick hit question: are you like an Apple Music guy or a Spotify guy?
Neither. I'm a YouTube music guy.
YouTube music. Whoa.
Well, I've got a toddler, and she loves Cocomelon and all those shows. So it allows me to download those shows.
Okay, so you have YouTube Premium?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I didn't expect that. That's that threw me off a bit, but it's all right. So let me ask you this: what's on your playlist right now?
So, because it's a shared account. So personally, I listen to a lot of Bethel. Okay. And I listen to a lot of elevation worship. Okay. But I'm also starting to get into...
listen to Christian music.
No. I was just gonna say I'm also getting into a lot of jazz. Okay. Believe it or not. So like sometimes I have to work a little bit later. Okay. So just to get me thinking, I start listening to some jazz, and I'm liking it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. It gets you in there. All right. Yeah. Cool. This is a good segue. So music to me is like this universal thing. So if you remember back to the World Cup and stuff, they always have this theme music, and it can connect people all across the world just with that one song. And so it means something to everybody. But in your own life, what has music meant to you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think music drives almost everything around us. Even when you look at commercials or movies that are love movies, they have love songs. I feel like the lyrics and the tone of the music actually drives people to essentially make them feel a certain way, right? So to me, I feel like music, it lifts me if I'm down, or if I'm in a lovey-dovey mood, I turn on some Marvin Gaye, right? Or some sort of music, right? Yeah. So, or some sort of love song. So or if I'm working out, I listen to I don't listen to acoustic worship, or I listen to something hip hop or some R&B that'll get me in the mood. So
it pumps you up a bit. So one of the things that I wanted to ask you about is, so you talked about how music can depending on the mood get you into the right place. But one of the things I noticed just reading the Bible and in my experience in faith is that Jesus is all about music. Across the Bible you see times where they sang songs and danced and did all of that stuff. And my question is how does music help connect us with God?
Yeah, I there's this one story in the Bible that really resonates with me, and it's King Saul, when he was in power, there was times he would be tormented by spirits, and to me it's sometimes it's your thoughts or depression, or when you're alone with your mind, right? So to me that resembles what King Saul was going through. And every time he was going through that, he actually demanded David to come up and play his lyre, right, which is the harp, right? Yeah. And when David played, he was playing basically a rhythmic song to God, right? And every time he played it, it basically uplifted King Saul and removed that spirit, right? Yeah. And so I think when you're trying to get connected to God, I do think music is kind of a pathway to get there closer and quicker, right? And that one story that I just shared kind of articulates that, where David is actually playing the lyre. That's the tormenting spirit had left, right? And it opens up your vision to actually connect with God a little bit closer.
Yeah, that resonates with me, because sometimes I'm just I'm not feeling reading the Bible or praying or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And I'll just be okay, the easiest thing I could do is just turn on some worship music, or music that talks about God, and I feel okay, that gets me back to where I need to be, and so it could just be the starting point of going deeper in your faith,
For sure.
So the other thing that I wanted to ask you about was this whole within music, another thing that's kind of fascinating is just songwriting, right? People who actually write music. And I was just curious about are there any songwriters that have really inspired you over the years, or just been hey, that lyric was really good?
Yeah, so I think when it comes to lyrical writers, I truly like an artist called Corey Asbury, right? And you know, he sang like the one of the top songs a couple of years ago, "Reckless Love," right?
Yeah.
And when you actually read the words, the way he chooses to describe the reckless love of God and just the pursuit of God's love, he uses common things that you and I would go through on a daily basis, right?
Yeah.
So like I would strongly encourage people to look out for his music and actually read some of the lyrics there.
Yeah. Like, and that was the point I was gonna make, is like, sometimes we just listen to the beats, or like sometimes we're just vibing, but like a good thing to do sometimes is actually like look at the words, because it could actually, that alone could be like, food for your soul, just like reading through some of what that is. So that's cool. And okay, my last, so I know you're a big like instrument guy, right? Play a bunch of stuff. For the kids like out there who are looking to just get into music, right? Like where do you think they should start? Like what's a good starting spot?
Yeah, so like I think like a good starting spot is actually start listening to music, right?
Yeah.
And like it depends on what instrument that you want to play, right? So like sometimes like you don't always have to listen to the lyrics of that song. So I personally listen to the lyrics because I'm a singer as well, right? But if you're a guitarist, like you should focus on how the guitar is playing, right? YouTube is also great in taking a song, and there's artists that take songs and then only play the guitar parts, right? And so you can literally focus on that guitar part and watch the video on how they're doing it, and they show tutorials. Same thing with drums, same thing with piano, right? So I would say a good starting spot is listening to the instrument that you're interested in, and kind of narrow in on that first, and then listen to the song as a whole.
Cool. Yeah, that's good. Good thoughts. And so thanks for the conversation, and do it again soon.
Awesome.
All right, man. Thanks.